Hey everybody! It's Matcast here. We're casting RD2l. And Eli's not here today. So, you know. That's fun. It's a solo cast. We got Team Sev versus Team Deathrocket. Wait. Yes. Team Deathrocket. Stronk Synergy. Wait for it. Sven already banned. Bold. Bold. To not allow. Sev, play. Wait. Sev plays mid in RD2l. Bold to not allow it anyways. Good pick. Strong pick. Meanwhile, Sev instantly bans out that Underlord. Pretty reasonable ban. Just, you know, solid, stable hero. Is counter-pickable, but can be annoying, so totally fair ban. Now they have to take the time to ban Earthshaker. Earthshaker? Solid hero. I think Earthshaker's always kind of good. I'm assuming someone on Team Deathrocket, somebody on Stronk Synergy, plays that. Alright, a first pick Wind. The Sev Special, or a Pause 4. Sev's Wind can be Pog, for sure. Seeing a lot of Wind getting picked up early. Guess people are just thinking that there's not really counters. It is flexible, so, you know, you don't have to put it mid, but I feel like I see it picked up and go mid even into poor matchups sometimes, so, you know. Could just be the mid. They just decide, you know what? Sev's a god. We're putting him on it. Mars, baby! That's a hero I love. Mars, very good. Good initiation, good damage, good control, good team fight. Is everything you want. And 10 seconds. He can protect an egg if they pick Phoenix. Which is pretty useful. But Phoenix has seemed to have fallen out a bit, so who knows if we'll see him. And a Jakiro! That's an RD2l special. Jakiro and Ogre, I feel like. They're the RD2l heroes. See them get picked up because, you know, they can, they're kind of stable, they're pretty easy. A lot of the times your supports aren't so great in the MMR category. So you give them something that's easy, that has high value, that can do a lot in lane and in the mid game and even in the late game with, you know, him and Ogre. Those two see him a lot in RD2l. So not really surprised there. Not really a hero that, well, Ponzus does play a bit of it. So you know what? Actually, I take that back. And there's the Phoenix, baby! I'm the prophet, calling down the most obvious combos. But that's okay. We got the Phoenix, which is what you want to see. With the Mars, you know, very hard to deal with. Both the Bulwark and the Arena to protect that egg. Very good.
10 seconds remain.
Very solid. A Witch Doctor ban. Radiant. Understandable. Witch Doctor is a hero that I've seen do some good work. So, not surprised. Maledict is really powerful right now. Both in lane and in the mid game. And if he gets a full duration ult off, you're in trouble. And he has protection. Lifestealer ban, a solid ban. Now that you have the Mars, you want to ban people with magic immunity. You don't want them to just be able to walk out of your arena. Also, Lifestealer pretty good at hitting the egg. So, ultimately, a solid ban. Excuse me. Windrunner isn't good against Phoenix, you know. She kind of is, but not able to use that ulti against him. So, it's not perfect. Meanwhile, a Juggernaut ban, another Magic Immune hero that easily gets out of the Mars ulti, that easily can spin and clap the Phoenix while spinning. That's, again, kind of what we're looking to see banned here, is those powerful Mars Phoenix counters. And they're doing a good job of it. Radiant banning out the Terrorblade. They don't want that late game force. Terrorblade can be terrifying, especially when he's got protection. So, overall, good bans. Ember 2, he's pretty slippery. There's not a lot of reliable instant disable on the side of Radiant yet, so he could do a lot. A Troll gets banned. I don't like Troll much, to be honest. He may be powerful, but he just feels so kiteable. And I feel like, even if Radiant pick it, then, you have a Mars Spear, you have Phoenix attack slow, you've got the Arena, you've got Bulwark, just not impressed by the hero. But Dire thinks it's important enough to ban. Maybe they have a reason for that. Maybe there's something it counters. Now, this is the first time in a long time that I've seen Anti-Mage make it through second phase ban. So, that's a pog, A Lich? Alright, Dire is all in on team fights so far. And I don't think that's a bad thing in RD2l. Especially because you pick these team fight heroes, they do their thing, you fight around cooldowns. Let's be honest, it's not difficult on a team coordination level to press your R button on a bunch of heroes. And that's good for RD2l, because, these are sort of kind of pick-up stacks, especially earlier on in the season. You don't have that consistency of playing with guys for a while. These guys have only been playing together at most a week now, and some teams only play every official. A Spirit Breaker seems okay, I think. A little bit worried about Lich Gaze, a little bit worried about, obviously Mars Spear. Could have a very good time, could also have a very bad time. The one thing I'm not a fan of right now wait for it, is they seem to have a lack of consistent and sort of reliable safe disable. Spirit Breaker Charge and Ultimate is the closest, but at the same time, Dire's also missing that. But Dire really fortifies or counters that weakness with just insane teamfight right now, which Radiant doesn't really have. Oof, and a Faceless Void. I mean, that's just more teamfight, They've got circles and balls right now. 2 balls and 2 circles. Radiant, they pick up an Arc Warden. Now that's a 7 special. That's always tasty. But I'll be honest, looking at this right now, Dire just seems so easy to execute, man. It feels like Dire's just powerful at all times. And I think Radiant has to play a much better game mechanically, and in terms of coordination. You can get away with a lot of sloppiness on Dire, I think, right now, just because you have so much teamfight. It's okay if some of it whiffs a bit. But on Radiant, it's tough. Your initiation is a Spirit Breaker, but that's pretty easy to interrupt. Of course, though, we do have to go back to that Arc Warden. I'm assuming Sev's going to play it, because it is a Sev hero. He plays it a lot. And he looks very good on it. And when that's in the pool, you never know what happens, especially if the game goes late. You look at Faceless Void. You look at Phoenix and Lich, these really good scaling late game heroes, but Arc Warden's got that 25 talent. It's gonna be, but it's tough because Spirit Breaker, Jakiro, they all kind of fall off. Wind, depending on the game, and it's probably a Spirit Breaker 3 as well, which is a little bit unorthodox. So, Dire banned out Viper and Quap, maybe thinking that it's a carry Arc Warden, I guess, but they're thinking that Radiant needs a mid. Meanwhile, though, wait for it, they're also banning mids out. And obviously Dire needs a mid here. I don't think you're going to run, except maybe the Mars in the mid lane, but that seems unlikely to me here. It feels like you want that pairing with the Phoenix. It's strong in lane and it's strong in game. But we got a minute for a pick, so I'm going to take a sip of water. Alright. I want to see a carry. I want to see like an anti-mage from Radiant. So I feel like Radiant's not going to win team fight. They need split. And I feel like an anti-mage could provide that. Of course, makes their lineup a little greedy, especially if that Windrunner is going to play greedy. And they pick up a Doom instead. Okay, I like Doom. Doom helps. He definitely gets rid of some of the bigger spells and gives them better initiation and team fight. So that's good. Doom can be a powerful, powerful frontliner. He can get things done. He really does add a lot to this Radiant draft. Still though, Dire, if you Doom the Mars, Faceless comes in. You Doom the Faceless, Mars Phoenix. If you Doom the Phoenix, Faceless Lich. There's a lot of Doom targets. And they're going to add another with the Necrophos. Okay. And alright, let's see what we got. We've got mid Necro, carry Faceless, offlane Mars. It looks like, so no surprises there. Jabate, going to be playing that Windrunner. JD on the Doom, which means it is going to be a Sev Arc Warden, as we thought. Which is terrifying. Now, unfortunately, I don't know exactly how the lanes are going to match up. I'm imagining it's probably... okay, Dire seems pretty clear. Definitely a carry Void. Imagining this to be a mid Necrophos. Could also be, I suppose, mid Mars, but I think that's going to be rough into Sev. So, probably going to be a mid Necro. And then we're going to see mid Arc Warden. With, it looks like... Or is that a mid-Doom? You know what? I don't know! I should know. I casted Sev last week, so I should know what they play, but I'll tell you what. I'm unsure. We're gonna find out soon as the strategy timer ticks down. Let's talk about some cosmetics. Wind, looking fly. Mars, looking like nothing. Void, looking pretty poor. Pizza Jr. with two naked heroes on the side of Radiant. Or on the side of Dire, excuse me. But, neither of them even have the emote. Hasn't expired yet, I don't think. Cosmetics gotta go to Radiant. I mean, just two naked heroes and a Faceless Void, that's what? Yeah, just an uncommon rare. He does have the Jules Veil, so that's pretty nice. Alright, but we're in the game. It's gonna be Jabate and Hawks in the off lane. It is gonna be carry Sev. Or, well, position 1, safe lane Sev. With a mid Doom. Alright. Up against the Necrophos. Maybe seems a bit odd. I don't know the matchup well. I'm not really the matchup guy. But I feel like Flux and Spark Wraith are both good into Ghost Shroud. Yeah, we got it. So, you know, that's going to... It seems a little interesting that you're going to put the Doom there. Doom, of course, is going to farm fine. Oh, and get Necro. Necro tries the trick, but no ward is placed. Oh, and Dire, they instantly get the money. That's money in the pockets of Dire and Vision that they're not going to have. Now, it is probably going to be, I'm guessing, a 3 on Jabate. It obviously is, because now I'm remembering that he does play the 3. So 3 win. Let's see, currently, Bounty's being poked at for, not really an engagement, although there's one down bottom. Sev does get it. That's going to be 3 for Radiant. Oh, Pawn Zeus. No, you're never going to win that fight. So yeah, 3 for Radiant. Dire does get the early Observer Ward, and it honestly looked like that money went to Faceless Void. So I can't imagine it did. Yeah, no, that's the Sentry of Lil Nixaw, so he's going to get that. Now it's time. This is the one thing I was worried about, especially in the early levels. Might be a bit tough for Doom to get anything done, but we're going to see how it carries on here. So far, obviously all the lanes just kind of hammering out. Necrophos taking the early advantage, but that's mostly because the Dire creeps haven't been dying. And looking at it, JD is getting good farm. Now Doom, since we do have a moment, Doom really has sort of shifted into that mid lane role. So not surprising at all to see him here. I think especially once he hits level 3 and he's able to get that increased regen, he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to be at risk of death. But so is Pizza Jr. They're both going to farm just fine this game. We'll keep our eyes here on the mid lane. Meanwhile, both carries doing pretty well. A TP is forced though. The Phoenix wants to go home. Take some damage, so could be in a bit of trouble. In this off lane, this Mars, as Sev does out damage him by 1 point. Oh, that is looking a bit rough. Faceless Void though, he's the real winner on the side lanes, farming up just fine. Not really able to get forced back by Jabate or the Spirit Breaker. You know, Spirit Breaker has a bit of a tough time. He's very tanky, but into a Lich, he's going to take a lot of damage. And you're going to see Faceless Void until some pulls come out. Probably going to farm pretty freely. Does get that Rage Creep denied. You hate to see that. Both of the side lanes right now are pretty far under the carry side, so they're probably both pretty happy with the state of things. And in fact, overall, lanes are looking pretty even. Obviously, the Mars isn't getting a whole lot out of this lane, but that's just how it be sometimes when you're a Mars. Can be tough to farm, and once they hit some higher levels, they'll start to get going. But JD might be in a bit of trouble. Has to be careful. Level 2 Death Pulse is a little spooky. Is going to solve up, though, and overall be just fine. Yeah, you can see the lanes pretty even. Doom starting to fall behind, unsurprisingly, now that he's taking that damage. It's going to be a little bit tough for him to
See you later, nerds.
get those kills get those creep kills as Necros ramps up. But meanwhile, down bottom, they're trying to go on to Phoenix. Phoenix is weak. What does have the salve? Probably won't die. Pawn Zeus will pop the salve, so nothing actually comes of it. A nice spear from Deathrocket prevents the death from occurring. Up top, a courier's acquired. Hawks hits him. There's the bash. One more, doesn't get it. But yeah, overall, not really much going either way. Doom is getting hit hard here. On par with the position 3 of Dire. But you know what? Maybe it's not the worst because Wind is on par with the mid. So, you know, it could work out. You know, you could swap things around, maybe see more of that core Windrunner as she does get bashed up here. But overall, right now, I'd say a slight advantage to the Radiant, but really it's too tight to say that for certain. These runes are going to make a big difference, though. Looks like it is going to be 4 for 0 for Radiant, unless someone takes the Radiant Triangle rune from them. And that is brutal. Here, just going to TP back. Not a fear in the world. And yeah, 4 runes for the side of Radiant means a very fast Midas going to be coming out. Not too far away, about 300 gold. Doom has to be careful. The scythe is available. Meanwhile, up top, Debate's farming exceptionally well, and Lich is taking a lot of damage. That'll be a first blood to Debate. A bash on the Faceless Void. He'll obviously time lock it off. Meanwhile, down bottom, both teams just farming away. Oh, the broken trees means that there's no stun. That maybe could have been a kill on Jakiro, but it will not be. And a haste on the Necro. He's going to go bottom. No, he's not. He's going back mid. Besides, a kill not really in the cards. Lich also TPing back top. So overall, not really any commitment anywhere. Necro does have a fantastic start to this game, though. And that's something to be looking out for as we enter into the mid-game. Looks like they might be trying to go on to Wind, but she has the Wind run. So probably nothing going to result there. They may try and go on Hawks. Meanwhile, down bottom, they kill Jakiro. Or the Jakiro kills the Phoenix. Spearbreaker charges. But nothing's going to come out of that. Now, Doom is going to start escalating. I'm going to go ahead and swap over to net worth because you see, even though it's 44 to 28, the power of Devour and the power of the Midas means that Doom about half a level behind, but almost even in net worth. And that is not something to underrate. Oh no, Faceless Void, please, your courier just came back. I don't think he's going to get it. And Doom sees the Stomp creep, is going to kill it. His Doom, or his Devour is on cooldown, and he doesn't have a blink, so not super high on his priority list at this very moment, but later in the game, I think we're definitely going to be seeing that come out. And meanwhile, they're trying to go on Faceless. They ping. He is a Faceless Void, though. That is a tough kill. There is level 6 on this Wind. So, obviously, there's damage. Meanwhile, though, Deathrocket is in a lot of trouble. The Ghost is going to go to him. Doesn't kill him. Meanwhile, a Scythe comes out onto Seth. Will result in a kill, although not a Scythe kill. So his respawn timer is not increased. And meanwhile, a Chrono comes out, and they manage to catch the Spirit Breaker. Now, I imagine Jabate's going to be okay. He's going to pop the Wind Run. May even commit to this himself. Doesn't look like it. But overall, some good moves from Dire to get themselves some good money and get themselves on the path to a solid mid-game. Meanwhile, though, Phoenix is now able to take this mid lane from the Necro, get that XP. On the side of Radiant, however, neither of the supports are getting that, which means at the 10-minute mark, they might have some trouble. Upon Zeus takes a lot of damage, doesn't eat the spear, is going to survive, no scythe available. Meanwhile, up top, a little bit of bullying going on between Spirit Breaker and Faceless. Neither of them really in any danger, of course. Spirit Breaker, very tanky if he gets bashed to leave. Faceless Void always has that Q. But, you know, just playing with each other a bit. Sev returns to the mid lane now. Or goes to the mid lane for the first time. Bob Ross maybe should have stayed near those creeps. Isn't going to die, but is going to take a heck of a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Upon Zeus goes down. Not really surprising. They did not use the arena, so a pretty free kill, which is overall obviously going to be good for them. Sev decides to pressure mid while they pressure bottom. I don't know that Sev's going to get this tower. They're definitely going to get bottom, though. But they're getting some damage, which is nice enough. Now, there isn't really much to kill Sev here at this moment. We're just going to have to wait and see if Dire mounts a response. They're kind of gathering near the mid tower, but doesn't look like they're going to commit for it. A DD rune could be massive. Radiant knows it's there. Is Sev going to go for it? No. Debate pushing with that ultimate. I don't know if Javelin affects towers. Has to be a little careful as that arena is up. Could just toss a shackle shot and walk away, though. He tosses the shackle, but it's not enough. The arena goes up. There's no spear yet. It's just buying time. Lich doesn't have his ult. The spear finally goes up, does connect with the stun. And now they get the pull, and that's going to be a scythe kill. So, despite not hitting, you know, that's kind of what I was talking about. The Mars doesn't really get any damage off of the spear. Now, he does get the stun, which is obviously important. But the time he buys means that even though the arena just sort of, you know, buys time, Necro can come in and clean up. Sev on the path to his own Midas. So, everyone on Radiant... Well, I was going to say everyone on Radiant is sort of optimizing for that late game, but in both the case of Doom and Arc Warden, it's kind of an accelerant item. You don't get it because you're specifically going for late game. So I feel like that's more of the case here. It's not really that they're looking for late game, it's just that it's such a value item on both of them. That they'll both end up choosing to go for that. Now, Dire is gathering around this mid lane, looking at Sev. Meanwhile, we're going to cut to the gank up top. No ultimate from this Mars, so he could be in trouble, but they elect not to dive. He does manage to get the courier. I don't know if I can select it. Indeed, I can't. And now this is a problem, because Dire, this is their second attempt, or their second tower that they're going to be taking. Meanwhile, Radiant have only managed to get some damage into some tier 1s. They are going to fall off. Top tower still alive. Wind could be in trouble. Arena low cooldown. Already Blink Dagger available for Mars. This is the reveal if he chooses to use it. He does blink, gets the pin to the tree, won't even need the arena, not that he has the mana for it. Radiant looking to possibly mount a response, or otherwise just hang on the area. Indeed, they are going to charge. Phoenix dives out, and Hawks rightly cancels. So Dire getting more and more picks. You know, this is kind of what I'm afraid of if I'm Radiant, is there's a Chrono! And look at the enemy team coming in. Now, Upon Zeus is probably going to be able to delay this. Faceless Void's going deeper. Did just use the Time Walk, so he won't be able to eat off this damage. They do lose the poor Jakiro, but they get the Faceless. So overall, a good turnaround so far. Jabate is here. Does get hit with the Reaper Scythe. Will pop to it. Now the egg goes down, but there are two Sevs hitting on it, so it's going to die quickly. A Doom comes out onto the Necro. So the Necro's abilities aren't going to save him. And they catch out the Lich. That's overall a 4 for 2. You do lose your Wind, who's kind of your position 2 so far. But overall, protect your tower. Get a bunch of kills. 1,300, almost 14, compared to 300 and 3,000 XP. If you're Radiant, you're super pleased with that. And that jump in from the Faceless Void was just so catastrophic for him. Now, will JD be able to get this tower? He is tanky, but he's not that tanky. Lich, by the way, still level 5. That's gotta be rough. They don't have they must not have a book in stock. Or do they? Nope. It's been used. That's unfortunate. Taking a look at some items. See Sev going for that Maelstrom. Not a surprise to anyone. See Upon Zeus be in a position 5. Hawks, going for a Spirit Vessel, always a good choice. And actually, Sev is under a ward. A smoke's coming. Oh, he's farming. That's going to be a dead Sev, for sure. The Blink comes in, the Arena comes in. Actually misses on the Spear. The Lich is there, and even if he wasn't, the stop from the Conqueror, excuse me, to prevent the TP. He's playing for the side of Dire. Hawks sitting in the pit. Radiant is now definitely going to lose this mid tower, unfortunately. In the meantime, though, Radiant did manage to take the top tower. Last hit going over to that Windrunner, which is what you want to see. And Hawks, he's waiting. He's targeting. He's looking. And he's not going to find anything. All he's going to find is darkness. As he chooses to charge no one. Radiant, though, kind of playing around this top area. Sev on his own. Probably feeling a little bit more scared farming these safer camps after that gank. Going to use the Ghost to farm. 36 more gold. He's getting closer and closer. Meanwhile, Dire looking for another gank attempt here as they smoke up again. Sev, the only target that's really revealed on the map other than the wind, and I doubt they're going to go for him. Dire obviously had no idea that the smoke was taking place, and look at Dire going in, trying to find Sev. If that smoke pops, he's just going to blink high ground. He's going to put down the Arena. He's going to get the stun. This is another death for Sev, and that one is a sight death, and that's brutal if you're Sev. Because that's 60 seconds that you're not farming. Now, he did manage to get the Maelstrom. Radiant is going to look possibly to get something out of this. A Shackle comes out, doesn't latch, and then a Tree stun comes out. Egg also out. Radiant forced to retreat. A Chain Frost comes out. And they do kill the Lich at the cost of their Jakiro and quite a few ultimates from the side of Dire. It's not great, really, but at least you got something on your wind. You know, you're getting your wind a little bit more farmed, getting closer to that MKB and becoming a real force to be reckoned with. But Sev is being kept down. Meanwhile, Doom, he's the one ahead. He's gonna maybe get ganked here. Unlikely, though. I think Dire's just hanging out in the area, and man, this vision around the pit, these two wards watching the same basic area is really rough. Obviously, you're gonna have trouble seeing into the smoke, but you know, you just wish that you had something else. Now, Doom does have a blink and that stomp. They found the Faceless Void. They do manage to get a good stun lock onto him. He's probably gonna go down here. Does manage to get out, as he just barely survives the stun. Will fall afterwards, though. Now it's JD getting gone on, taking a lot of damage, but there is a very nice macro and ice path from upon Zeus. The Chain Frost comes out, is going to do a lot of damage. Delta split from the Radiant starts bouncing off the creeps. Meanwhile, blink in from JD. He gets a big two-man stun. There's also a Shackle on the Necro. He has no chance to heal up, and he will die. They also take down the Phoenix. An excellent fight for Radiant, and Sev, he still wants more. Has that haste rune. There's buybacks, but they're not coming out yet. That's kind of an early fortification. Actually, it looks like it might have cleared out the wave. So ultimately, probably worth it. Hold on 1 second, lads. I got a bot in my chat. We're going to watch them take this tier 2 or not. A Chrono comes out, is good onto the poor Windrunner. Deathrocket getting into position for the spear, but doesn't even need it. Now Deathrocket spears up Sev, and this could be much more dangerous, as Sev is a very high value target. He has the bots now, so he is quite speedy. I don't think Dire's going to get much more out of this. In fact, I am incorrect, as Upon Zeus gets caught out, but actually gets speared away to safety with that powerful ice path. It looks like they might lose the Lich. Oh no, he lives! The Ghost is gonna come! Is it gonna hit him first? What will happen? He lives! He lives! The heal was enough, but now Faceless Void in trouble. An arena comes out just to kill the illusion from Sev, and it looks like that's going to cost Deathrocket his life. Indeed it will. Bob Ross tries to go in on the Phoenix. Isn't going to work out, but they're looking for a more high-value kill. They get the quick shackle, not a stun, but just enough to buy some time as they take him out. And this fight was looking good for Radiant, but then at the end there just starts to fall apart a bit. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to hold on for a second. I'm watching Doom.
See you.
Sick Lich build, honestly. Oh, he's going fast travels. That's actually kind of sick. He can be anywhere.
Double damage.
A DD comes out on Spirit Breaker. Who will he kill with it? Probably no one. Tell you what, man. Radiant, they finally got down a good deep ward. They're getting into a good position. Dire, though. The green dots. That's Dire's story. Is these green diamonds. Depending on those, game could go either way. Full Mjolnir is out for the Faceless Void. Looks like he was maybe considering at one point going for a Midas, but chose not to. Seb, I saw completed. I thought Seb completed his Mjolnir, but I'm incorrect. Doom is escalating faster and faster, and his courier is bringing a full BKB. The man's becoming unstoppable. And obviously, Seb's going to start farming exceptionally quickly. Right now, level 15. But as he rapidly farms, he'll come closer and closer to that 25. And that's the power mark. That 250 spark rate damage is insane. Of course, he is very vulnerable. Not a lot of saves. The Ice Path, a good method of protection, I think. Especially in that Chrono, as long as Void doesn't have that BKB, which he's now going for. But a smoke comes out, not spotted by the Dire wards. Doom leading the charge. They want to find this Necro. Oh, and Necro, it wasn't worth it, buddy, as he's going to get doomed up. He's going to get beaten down. Seb electing to hit the egg. Necro already fallen. Chronosphere comes out, but I don't know how much is going to come out of it. Actually, a Chain Frost is going to do a lot of damage. The circles, the balls, they're doing everything they can, and they're dealing a lot of damage. Right now, 2 for 3 trade. As Mars finally goes down, they're going to lose the Lich as well. And that looked like it was going to be a disaster for Radiant. But somehow, they lose their supports, but everyone else manages to get out. And that was 4 ultimates that they dropped. I'm saying it's all in the balls and the circles and the big buttons, but it seems like it might not be enough. The lead of Radiant possibly too far ahead. Unfortunately, this Faceless Void still not reaching that damage spike that we usually want to see out of a Void. He has that Mjolnir, but it still feels like he's an item away from really being a significant damage dealer, especially in the heroes like the Doom. And even to a lesser extent, this Arc Warden, pretty tanky with that 1700 HP. You know, Wind at about 2000. I guess 1700 is not amazingly tanky, but you compare that to some of the heroes on Dire, like the Lich. That's a lot of HP. You know, and it's HP that you have to beat through. And also, Arc Warden has 1800 HP, but he has 16 armor from himself. It's actually going to be, yeah, 16 from himself and the Aquila. That's a lot of armor, you know. It's hard to beat down into that with a Faceless Void. The Chain Frost was powerful, but only level 1. If that had been a level 2 Chain Frost, could have been a very different story. And look, they see the Necro. They're going on him instantly. TPs come in, and Radiant bail. Is Aponzo's going to use his Blink to get out? Maybe? No. Oh no, Wind gets stunned by Roche. Roche also working for Dire. All the creeps working for Dire today. Meanwhile, Sev, Arc Warden, Farm. TPs at mid to push out mid. Meanwhile, he farms camps. That's just the way it is, you know, and overall, this is what he wants, you know. Soon he'll have an MKB, soon he'll be the one dealing damage, and look, he's going. He's not afraid to try and kill. 4 versus 1 illusion. Now, it is worth a significant amount of gold. 300 goes to the void. That's not bad. That's good money. But I don't know if that BKB is going to be enough to really give him the damage he needs. At some point, he's probably going to have to go MKB because of this Windrunner. We'll see. Man, and just another case of 3 bounties going to Radiant. And that feels just off on Dire, because they've consistently been losing out on these bounties. Meanwhile, Seb doing Seb things, just pushing out that bottom wave. Well, meanwhile, his hero's totally safe. Midas, off cooldown. How long is it going to take him to pop it? He's running. He uses a blink to get to it. Bam! Thank God. And look at how far Doom's escalated. Going for the Shiva's Guard, always a good item on Doom. He likes to get in there, he likes to blink, he likes to stun. He likes to use mana, but he doesn't have great mana. It does have that jelly, which is always going to be nice. I just saw a Meteor Hammer. There's a Meteor Hammer. Phoenix, probably. Yes, Phoenix has that Meteor Hammer, can do the dive Meteor Hammer just to get some farm. Necro has a level 1 Dagon. Realizes he might need a Lincoln Sphere into the face of this Doom, but honestly, I don't know if that's enough to save him. And look, Radiant, they smoke from the same position. Dire still have no vision of it. They're looking, they want to get something. Dire is in a good position to counter here. Other than the Faceless Void, everyone's there. They see Lich, he's TPing out. They do get the stun on him. Lich is going to go down. Is Dire going to commit to this fight? No, it looks like they're just going to have the Phoenix press his buttons. Although, it's a little too late, it looks like. As Phoenix goes down, the stun comes out. They're also going to take down the Mars, a BKB from the Doom. Will save him. And actually, Hawk's getting low. A big ultimate from the Necrophos is going to take out that Wind, but everyone else just pops. And those buttons, they kind of came in staggered, you know. You had the Chronosphere, and it was okay, but there was no follow-up. And then at the end of the Chronosphere, you had the Scythe. Now, the Scythe does what the Scythe does. The Scythe kills the Wind, which is always going to be good. But then the Necro is doomed. And then the Mars is kind of bursted down, so he can't commit. The Phoenix bought back, dove in, popped the egg, but already 2 heroes dead, the rest running away. You're going to go down quick. And Lich never got the chance to get off his Chain Frost. So that's not the best. That's not what we want to see out of Dire's ultimates, right? You want to see them lead with a Chrono. You want to see them go in and Chrono, and then toss more on top of that, right? You want to see the Chrono into the Chain Frost. You want to see the Mars Arena into the Phoenix ultimate. But we didn't really get that. We got just reactionary, defensive, salvaging ultimates, as I'll call them. And salvaging ultimates, they don't work a lot of the time. And now they're on cooldown. 35, 74, 35, admittedly, 2 of them still online. And I think if Dire continues down this road that they're currently going down, where they just hit creeps and they just kind of wait for fights, I think they're going to slowly lose this game. Dire has to group up, get a smoke, get a key pick. Not just the Wind anymore, but you have to get the Arc Warden or the Doom, or preferably more. And as I say that, Radiant starts looking to Roche. They know there's no Chronosphere. Dire. Okay, what is that, Shaq? Dire isn't in a position to fight. They're not going to get there in time. If they do know what's going on, Radiant has very good vision. Will fall, Aegis goes to the Wind. Honestly, understandable, you know. Arc Warden isn't really supposed to die unless he gets caught out of position. Doom, very tanky, hard to kill, so he's probably not going to go down, especially with that BKB Shiva's completed. But Wind, you know, she needs to be in the fights where she's vulnerable, but she also is therefore at risk of death. But Radiant are pushing, and this is what it is, you know? Sev uses the illusion to push. Meanwhile, he's not even there. Has the travels if he needs to be. Going for that Orchid. A solid choice in the Necrophos. Does have a Linken's now, so it's going to be harder to instantly doom them. Meanwhile, Radiant starts to split. Bottom, a bit pushed out, so they're probably going to look to take over the triangle. But look at this Dire, unafraid. Walking under vision, so probably not going to get anything. And unfortunately, Sev's illusion, probably not getting anything either. Although with that haste, make use of that timer. He's going to run up. He's going to look for something. Will he find anything? No. Maybe the Lich. He'll try. He'll put the Flux on him. He does a lot of damage to that Lich. Has to be very careful. Gets pushed away. Is going to pop before it can get killed. And Doom actually tried to go in, but didn't get that stomp as already Faceless was leaving. But this is what I'm talking about with the Sev show, man. He's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He's becoming a raid boss, and you can't do anything until you break this Radiant line. The Dire. They're electing to sit on the high ground. The logical choice, I'd say, you know, the safe choice, hold high ground. Look for a fight on our terms on the high ground. But in this case, it feels like Radiant's slowly picking up momentum. And every second, they're picking up momentum a little bit quicker. And look at this. Lich is just going to die to the illusion.
See you later, nerds.
Sev's getting kills from across the map. Faceless Void is looking for something, but this is what I'm talking about. It's a little bit tough to get in. He needs to get in onto, like, the Doom. That's the only way that they win this fight, is by eliminating that Doom first. They toss the spear, obviously not going to latch to anything, nothing behind him. Faceless Void, still looking for something. Obviously, you can't chrono that Arc Ward and Illusion, or at least not if you want to get anything done. A nice Meteor Hammer will get a lot, but they're going to just take out Phoenix, and then the Doom comes in onto the Necro, but it gets blocked by the Linken's. Faceless Void forced to dive away, pops a chrono, only on the Jakiro. He's just going to get annihilated by the Windrunner, and they don't even kill the Jakiro. Faceless Void buys back, but they lose the Mars, instantly buys back as well. They do get the Doom with the Reaper's Scythe, but so far, this is a disastrous fight for the Dire. They managed to take out the Wind as well, coming back, and the Spirit Breaker. They don't have any ultimates left, though. Jabate finally pops that BKB. Deathrocket tries to throw the spear, but what are you going to hit? It's BKB'd. Pizza Jr. manages to get out, and Dire hold. But look at this. They're still going in. The fight's not over. Or is it? It is. Fight recap. About even for both teams. Because of those buybacks, though. But Necro got a lot out of it. Unfortunately, Necro's scaling not the greatest right now into this game. He does have a Dagon, and actually, Lich is just going to get killed, maybe. This poor Lich, he's just trying to survive, but he's just food. The blink on Sev means anytime he sees the Lich anywhere on the map, the Lich is dead. That's what I'm talking about how you don't have to put the Aegis on the Sev. He's not even at these fights. He just sends in the Tempest Double. And that Tempest Double does all the work for him. I don't know. Obviously, the game feels like it's slipping for Dire. 26k net worth lead for Radiant, but this is the moment. This is the moment where you have to make a play. Aegis down. Your base safe. Clear this wave, gather up, try and use your ultimates together once Faceless Void has Chronosphere again. But at that point, who knows what's going to happen? Lich is trying to get a Force Staff. This Travels build not working out for him here. Faceless Void has a BKB, going for the MKB, a nice damage item. Will allow him to do more in those Chronospheres. The attack speed, obviously nice for those bash chances. Now, 18 seconds until he's online. Dire is looking to gather up. Is there a smoke on anyone? No. They're not going to smoke. Or at least if they are, it's coming out on the courier. Yep, smoke is coming out. Okay, They gather up. They take out the illusion. The smoke is here. Dire has to gather and move decisively. But right now, they're still spread. They can't get that smoke going. And in fact, it's in the backpack. They're not even looking for it. And now, Mars gets an arena that doesn't really do anything. A Silence comes out. A Doom comes out. Necro's going to be useless. A big Chronosphere. And Chain Frost actually isn't going to do much as it quickly bounces out. Now, JD taking damage, but just beating down on that Lich. 4 dead, 4-0. And now 5. Probably going to be a GG call, wouldn't be surprised. And that's just the unfortunate. They went, they farmed, they dewarded. And if they had smoked, maybe, I'm not saying definitely, but maybe they can follow up that Mars ult immediately. But instead, Mars is put into an awkward situation where he can't get anything done. Because he's popped the arena, and he's tossed it. And then Phoenix has to egg afterwards, defensively. Chrono has to get dropped defensively to protect that Mars. And then Necro just gets doomed. He's silenced, and then he's doomed. And your fight's falling apart because you never get that initiation. Now, maybe they have one more hold to them. Into Megas. Looking honestly impossible. 40k net worth lead. This poor Phoenix. He's just going to get annihilated. He does have a Ghost Scepter, so he will survive. Probably. Maybe I speak too soon. No, he will. But I feel like if you're Dire right now, you're just talking about next game. And indeed, they're just going to call GG. Just taking a second to talk about the next game. See where it goes. What a game one. You know, Dire, they had a solid lineup, but I feel like they never just came together and started team fight. And in that pickoff situation, Radiant, once they get a pick, they're very good at going more. You know? You get one pick, and then you have a Spirit Breaker. You have a Shackle. You have a Blink Doom. Not Doom, but Blink on Doom. You know, and those I think, are powerful enough to pull the game. Especially when they're getting the initiation first, and then they're following that initiation with further kills. Alright, lads, I'm dropping up an image real quick while I join the next lobby. But I'm still here. We're going to toggle the broadcast channels. We're going to join the broadcast. Man, it's just unfortunate, right? Because it felt like for all the team fight that Dire had, they got one solid team fight, and it just wasn't quite enough damage. Because it was a little disorganized. And I feel like, largely, if you're Dire and you take that good team fight, every subsequent team fight becomes easier. So, like, looking at this graph, you can see that Dire, they had a solid chance, but they just lost fights and then never really got the chance to take a good one because as they started losing those fights, the net worth started making up for it. For the difference in the team fight capabilities. And if I think if we had seen it about 15 to 20 minutes, Dire just say 5-man smoke, fight. 5-man smoke, fight. It would have worked out well for them. And they did have some good smokes. You know, they smoked onto Sev and they killed him. And then they killed him again. And that was good. But they never transitioned those picks into anything more, right? And on the side of Radiant, you would see the Mars get gone on, or like the Lich get gone on, and it would be like Lich dies, then Mars dies, and meanwhile Dire is trying to salvage the fight because, you know, in the moment you're saying, well, we have team fight. Even if we lose someone, we can team fight, which is kind of true, but not when you're already on such a back foot and you have to collapse because by the time they would get there, 2 people are dead. And then you drop an egg. But what's an egg going to do when you don't have the Mars to protect it. You know, what's an egg gonna do when there's no Chrono? What's a Chain Frost gonna do when there's no Mars ult with people in it? You know, they used their ultimates, it seemed, to get pickoffs early, and then in the mid game they use them reactionary. But then when you're so committed to that team fight, you don't really have the damage, you know, to go further and end the team fight. You just have a lot of control. And that's also coupled with how well Radiant did at taking those fights. You know, the blinks from the Doom, the shackles, the follow-up upon Zeus with some beautiful macro pyres and ice paths, positioning, waiting, very patient with that hero to just ensure that when he uses a spell, it's gonna be highly effective. And obviously, Sev in the back doing his job, farming, sending those Tempest doubles, and when the time comes, massacring the poor Lich. I'll tell you, that Lich travels. I'm a big proponent of Boots of Travel. I think absolutely it's an underrated item. I think it's worth a lot. I just don't think it's worth a lot on Lich. You know? I don't think it's worth a lot on that hero. Mars goes travels, I see that. Even Void going travels, I can see that. But on this position 5, who really, being honest about his role, is he presses Chain Frost into ultimates. He tries to use Gaze to interrupt Radiant. And he Ice Armors them. You know? That's not an amazing value, right? That's not amazing value. It's not like you're on a hero who kind of just does things anyways, right? Like, obviously Chain Frost is impactful, but it's not nearly as impactful as some of the other heroes that could have been picked. Like, if he had gone Glimmer, it would have been better. Because then he has more value in a team fight. But it doesn't matter, because we are game 2, baby! Underlord ban from Wait For It immediately. They just don't want to face the hero. Deathrocket does play it quite a bit, so not too surprising. Now, will we see respect bans from Stronk Synergy?
10 seconds remain. It is Dire's ban.
Nope, we see the Sven ban. Another standard. Not too surprising. It is, like I said last time, a good hero. Solid hero. Doesn't reveal a lot, gives you a lot.
10 seconds.
Gotta say, though, Team Wait For It, they've got the good banner.
It is Radiant's ban.
Another Earthshaker ban. Probably a targeted ban at this stage, but looking at my stats that I see, I don't see anyone who plays it particularly often, so I don't know.
Seconds remain. It's turn to pick.
Hey,
Radiant's
Nature's Prophet ban, very understandable. They just snap pick the wind. They just say, alright, if you won't respect us, we'll punish you. So they snap up that Windrunner and they say, we're going.
10 seconds.
And honestly, since they play it in the 3, it's pretty understandable, you know?
5
It's hard to counter
Dire must choose.
something so flexible. They're going to pick up an Enchantress. We'll see if it's a 3 or a 5. I have to imagine it'll probably be at 5. But, you know, that could be dangerous. I feel like Enchantress is a hero that you have to play around in a specific way. It's a hero that you have to play in a more specific way. And that's tough in RD2l. Although, the simple strat didn't work, maybe the complex one will. Dire, going to pick up their second hero soon. Probably looking at one of the supports here. We'll just have to wait and see what they think is going to be the pick here. As there are a lot of different options. We may see another Spirit Breaker here. Who knows? I mean, the hero's very pickable. Dire, though, taking their time, using up that reserve time here. We'll see what they come up with.
Radiant's turn to pick.
They go for the Undying. An interesting pick for certain. Honestly, I'm not the #1 fan of Undying. I'm kind of an Undying hater, as I think all he'll do is show up in the early game, probably be useful there, and then be a walking tombstone. But if you take long fights with Chase, and these sort of slow fights that happened last game, or not slow fights, but fights in one area that continue, and especially if you have the enemy on the back foot, those zombies can be very valuable. Now, it's up to Radiant to reveal something of their own. You probably don't want to pick melee heroes into the Undying, especially in the safe lane. The off lane.
Dire's turn to pick.
And we see a Venom. Unsurprising, as Deathrocket does play it, and that's a hero that I think is really good after a loss like that. Because this hero fundamentally changes the game, right? You're not playing the same Dota. You have to deal with the Venom, and that is something that could be exceptionally useful as a way to shake things up and not have just a repeat of the first game. Now, team wait for it. They're banning these hard carries again. Terrorblade can be very scary. Can also look a little bit underwhelming, but
5 seconds.
an understandable ban. Now, Stronk Synergy. They have to choose what they don't want to play against. Now's definitely a time to get some respect bans. If Doom goes through, I'll be very surprised. They ban a Mirana. Not sure about that one. Even as a Mirana player, you don't really want Mirana in this lineup because there's not a lot of setup for it, right? You have Shackle, and that's it. And Mirana feels infinitely better when she's playing with setup. Of course, Dire can still pick some setup, but I'm not sure if that's what they're looking for with their 2 and their 1.
5 seconds remaining.
Because at this stage, it's probably pretty safe to assume that Jabate is going to be playing the 3 Wind. Now, one thing I do want to briefly mention is Veno into Undying feels real good. You always do damage, you're always annoying Undying. Obviously, the Strength Steal's a thing, but with the Plague Wards and the Poison Touch, it's just annoying to lane against, and it's even more annoying when you're a melee later.
Radiant's turn to pick.
And there we see the Doom is going to be banned. Unsurprising. When you see a Doom, he always just does so well. But now we're at the next pick coming out for Stronk. Looking at pick number 5. Both teams about even on their reserve time. So both have plenty of time to think. We need to see something with some strong fighting potential here from Stronk's energy. They need something to really be the core of a team fight. Oh no, that's not it. I feel like I'm not alone when I'm in the camp that says that Dota has, for the most part, viable heroes. But you know who's not on the list of viable heroes? Pudge. You know where I place Pudge? I place Pudge on the griefing tier of heroes. And unfortunately, that's what we got for Radiant. And that, I just don't like it. I just can't justify it. Pudge feels really bad right now. Pudge and Omni Knight are like the two heroes that feel real bad right now. Now I'm worried about the draft for Radiant. Because they have some good damage, I guess. But they have no control. They have no real way of starting fights. Just, I'm not a fan. Tusk, an interesting option. Very good, I think, against the DPS of Aveno. Lots of saves. Guess what? Dismember ain't nothing now. Tusk Snowball can save. Like, I think that's a good pick. I think it's a powerful choice. And I'm going to need to see something real good out of Radiant here. Because just seeing that Pudge instantly knocks 4 points off of their draft. Especially, too, that there's no setup for a hook or anything. Like, they have nothing. It's just going to be, can he hit the hook? Will he be allowed to dismember?
Dyer's turn to pick.
Flop is more damage. I mean, they've got a lot of burst if they can hit the hook. An anti-mage. I like anti-mage a lot. Hard to get on top of. Hard to deal with. Loves it when there's not a lot of control. And the only stun on Radiant is still Dismember. I don't think this anti-mage is going to be challenged. I think he's going to have a real free time.
Radiant's turn to ban.
So I don't see them picking a carry with good lockdown. But we'll see soon. Last ban coming out from the side of Radiant. Going to be looking to probably ban a mid-hero. Now, the one advantage for Radiant is the Enchantress Veno lane is probably going to be tough for the Undying Anti-Mage. It's probably going to be a good lane for Radiant. So I'll give them that. Other than that, once Anti-Mage becomes strong, there's nothing Radiant won't be able to touch him, I think. So last pick, going to be a mid. Who knows what we're going to see. They're really eking out the time. I gotta recover a bit. So that's why I'm not. Also, I feel like I've said most of what I need to say. A Zeus! Okay, Zeus is susceptible to Pudge. He's not mobile. Meepo, okay. Well, that's more control. But I feel like there's a lot of AoE damage and cleave to deal with him. I don't know if he's quite the Trump pick. We'll have to see. But being honest, the anti-mage does still seem kind of unstoppable. The net is powerful, but Sev can always go BKB. Ponzus is going to have so much HP from the steal. It's real easy to get Shackle on Meepo, obviously. Zeus has pretty good damage in the lane against him. All right. Oh god, cosmetic game on Radiant is so weird. Look at Dire, glorious, Zeus, underwhelming though. I'm not pleased with these cosmetics, and we all know that's the most important part of the game. All right, though, we're gonna see. Oh no, it's not a pause 5 Pudge, is it? Or is it gonna be... Wait, 3 Pudge? I don't know what's happening on Radiant, I'll be honest. On the side of Dire, though, obviously, Jabate gonna be playing 3 Wind like last game with Hawks on the 4. An Undying anti-mage lane might be a bit of a struggle if the Venom's top, but we'll see. It looks like they're just going for a kill here. At least at the moment. Meanwhile, up top, playing passive, despite the fact that they could be going aggressive. This is the interesting gank. The safe lane side gank. Oh, I don't like that. Get that away from me. Oh, okay. Now, Pudge still hasn't leveled, so we don't know what he's going to do. Now, assuming that they get on top of them, this is probably going to be a first blood for Radiant. Because they have Dagger Slow, Enchant Slow, Sneeze Slow, and a Hook. Oh, Radiant's doing a wraparound. It could be powerful. They're not going to find the Zeus. Pudge. Hasn't leveled Hook. Oh no, this is a disaster. It looks like Hawks is going to be brutalized. Nope. Those shards are a bit too late. And overall, 2 for 2 bounties. First blood goes to Veno. Veno TP's top. Does have Sneeze level 1, so that level 1 won't be too terrifying. Pudge is walking by mid, but I don't think he's going to really try for a gank or anything. I don't think you're going to gank a Zeus with a level 1 Meepo. Meanwhile, down bot, they're already going on Jabate. Does pop the Fairy Fire, but ticks out to the power of the dagger. Hawk still going for Bob Ross, who popped the Fairy Fire. And I think he's going to get out. Yeah, and now Hawks, he's the one in trouble. Hides in the tree line. Tries to juke. Powerful gamer. May still die, though. Is going to get hit by the Stomper. Has the shards. Bob goes down. Hawks lives. So that's overall a pretty good trade. Pretty nice. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Zeus having some trouble. Only going to get worse for him. Actually keeping up fairly well. Just a few creeps behind, you know, hadn't died yet. Meanwhile, are they going again? Doesn't look like it. Although, Wop in a bit of a dangerous position. Going to take a lot of harassment. And actually, now it's Hawks' turn to be in trouble. Poor Pizza Jr. is also taking a lot of damage. Hawks probably going to go down Oh, a beautiful shackle. Hawks TP's home to survive. Jabate, though, also taking a lot of heat. Bottom lane. It's pretty powerful. But worth noting, there isn't really a carry on the side of Radiant other than that Meepo. Now Jabate is going to get some levels here. Actually getting more CS than the Quap. So he could become very scary once again. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage, I said this lane might be rough, but I'll tell you what. This lane is looking pretty good if you're Sev. 14 and 12. Mid to JD. 16 and 4. Veno goes down. I looked away. I thought he was just going to walk out. Nickasauce will live. As a South, we'll probably pop it. But Sev has a free game. 14-14. That's brutal. Like I said, you're going to have a tough time controlling him in the game. And you're already having a tough time controlling him in the lane. Meanwhile, Jabate getting harassed, but Pizza Jr. also taking a hefty chunk of damage. No snowball yet for Tusk, so not really a source of initiation, as it were. Jabate forced to resort to power shots for last hits. Hawks might be in trouble. You know, he's feeling good about this right now, but there is a Fairy Fire. And Hawks is dying. Meanwhile, up top, support for support. Deathrocket. Gonna take a lot of mana burn. Meepo starting to escalate, but overall, mid and safe lane going very well still for the side of Radiant. Or Dire, excuse me. As both cores farming very well. Dev may be taking a bit of burn, but he already has the Ring of Regen, so he's totally fine. Lanes seem to have calmed down a little bit now. Although, I say that, harass coming out onto Jabate in the form of a dagger. Quap starting to get a little bit better off in this lane. And oh no, the zap creep. Not the chain lightning creep. You hate to see it, but they're going to kill Etch. Meanwhile, Undying dies. They lose the wind in exchange. Anti-Mage gets the last hit on the range creep. 5-minute bounties. Looks like they're going to go probably 2 for 2. Unsurprisingly. Now, Sev is getting bullied a little bit here, obviously, but with that Ring of Regen, with that magic damage prevention, you know, he's feeling okay. Zeus, look at Zeus, man. Already at 45 last hits. He's having a free time here. Meepo also having a free time, but he's hitting jungle creeps mostly at this point, so that's less free of a time. Pudge is looking for something of a gank. And I think as Deathrocket here gets more levels, he'll slowly become more and more problematic. Overall, pretty bloody start to the game. We're still at 2 kills per minute. Man, and just that burst into Jabate. The Hadouken does miss, but a level 5 with 3 points in Shadow Strike, and you're forced to leave. Yeah, look at that. Anti-Mage comes in. Anti-Mage, probably a much better option now that is pure on Impetus, but the rest of the damage is magic, which he is totally okay with. Oh, and Hawks, he could be in trouble. Will go down. But yeah, Sev, he doesn't care. And they're even rotating out the Undying. They're swapping out. And Sev puts the point into the Mana Void. to prevent that TP, and then upon Zeus secures the kill. Sev, though, in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have any form of regen. Oh, but not like this, Pizza. Ooh. Gets out on 10 HP. Overall, that's pretty rough for Radiant, you know? They were in, or for Dire, they were in a very good situation. And I don't know if Jabate's lane is saved by this swap. I feel like he struggles here, too. And that was Sev just TPing, so now cooldown on that TP. Oh, and look at this Pudge. What's he doing?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, and look at Dire. Or look at Radiant. I want to say them backwards all game, I guess. They're just hunting for this top tower and the kill. For Jabate, there's 4 people in your lane now. You get slowed. Gonna wind run. The hook, not gonna be in range. He knows there's 4 people here now. He's gonna get daggered as well as Courier is gonna drop. He's trying to clear out the tower so that he can survive, but no, he's gonna go down. And now, with the power of the Veno, with the power of the wards, the push comes out. They have a catapult too. I just accidentally alt-tabbed. Or clicked off my screen. Yeah, look at that. That's a powerful play from the Radiant. And they've hit a timing where they are quite strong. If we swap on over to the net worth, you can see that despite Zeus and Anti-Mage having a strong lead, Anti-Mage obviously isn't anywhere near online. Zeus is pretty vulnerable as well. So now Radiant can group up and take advantage of this timing while their Meepo farms to try and get more towers, get more map control. Now we did see them do this last game and ended up swinging back. But it feels much more decisive in this game. And Zeus, you don't want to be there, buddy. He's probably going to get hooked. Indeed, he will. Now, there is no ultimate from the Zeus. And actually, that's a significant amount of damage coming out. Upon Zeus does get down the tombstone. I don't think he's going to be able to kill this Quap, though. So overall, a 1-for-2 trade. Not bad for the side of Dire. And they hold the tower, too, which is also important. Sev's farming. Sev gets the bottom tower. I believe. Yes. Sev gets the bottom tower. Gets what he needs. They defend mid. They do lose JD, but they get 2 kills out of it. Looks like they're going to get 2 bounties. Now, does he get... No, so he only steals strength from the base Meepo. I'm realizing. So that was a slight misprediction for me that he would be extra tanky. But look at Sev. On pace for a very good Battle Fury timing at this rate. Given that he took the dip into the Wraith Band. Definitely going to be pretty happy with that. Is he going to try and beat down on the Plague Wards? Does have his team rotating in. It is free money. It's the range creep. Hasn't gone for them wards yet. So honestly a little surprising. Gonna get the siege creep first, and now he's gonna start chopping. Doesn't get the 1. Will he get the 2? No. Gets nothing. The range creep secures them both. Meanwhile, another setup onto the Zeus. They have the only stun on their team! But the tombstone's out. They're going to pay for this quite dearly as the Pudge goes down. Meepo comes in, instantly eliminates that, and actually AM in a lot of trouble manages to blink out of the way of the Scream. They are going to lose the Tusk as well. But Bob Ross eliminates himself from the competition. Wow, that tower did a lot of damage. I thought it was a replay bug. That was maybe an illusion. He has armor. He has 5 armor. Powerful tower. Sev, back to farming. Is probably going to get this at around 13-14 minutes from the looks of things. Unless he gets lucky. Didn't dig up that bounty rune, but he did dig up a salve, which is free health for him. Now, interestingly, Sev has the Iron Talon, but has decided not to equip it. And unfortunately, this is a tournament game and not a pub, so I can't passively aggressively remark on it in Steam chat. But that's okay, because meanwhile, we have the squishy Bob Ross up top being slowly beaten down by Jabate. There's a team fight erupting here. Possibly. Actually, it looks like Radiant's going to back off. Alright, perfect timing. Sev, please. Please! Your Iron Talon! Why would you not equip it? It's free attack speed. Mark the time. 13:06. Oh, a fight recap. Wow, money. Oh, I did it! It only took him like 2 minutes. Sev. Anyways, we can get off of that now. Tuskar now has the Diggy. Alright. Now real quick, I just want to check. The Enchantress is not going for travels. Is going for a kind of damage build. With the treads. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. They do have damage already, so I'm not sure. And then making another play. No! JD! No, JD! Dodges out one ability. The Tombstone comes out, but it's gonna get instantly popped. That's just another hero, basically. And poor JD, he's just been gone on and gone on and gone on. And at this point, Radiant has to get this tower. Sev has the money for the Battle Fury after this camp. Right? 825, yeah. Will Radiant continue their push? They feel strong. And they are strong. This is a good timing for them. As Sev is getting online, there's still not an MKB out for Jabate. You know, Dire's Cores, this is a moment where they're kind of weak. But Radiant, they elect not to. Spread out, maybe look for Jabate up top, maybe just take over their jungle. Sev, though, is going to start accelerating towards that Manta very rapidly. Already has 400 gold. Up top, though, they find the wind. Of course, a long-range right-click going to miss. And Bob Ross has learned his lesson about diving. Nick gonna toss that hook. No. Oh, and he's going for the travels, man. Why? I guess on Pudge maybe it's a bit more reasonable since, you know, you are kind of a kill initiator. But better than a Lich, but still, man, I'm not convinced. Look at Sev. He's walking right up into it. A hook comes out. Does manage to get onto the Undying. Doesn't pop the Tombstone. They're going to kill both supports. But at the cost of one of their own. I mean, Meepo's farming. So that's always good. But, you know, for that position, you just accelerated the wind, basically. Oh, and look, she's got herself a hood coming up. So, oh, that's a good shackle onto the Meepo. Are they going to follow it up? Doesn't look like it. But yeah, she realizes that there's a lot of magic damage on the side of Radiant. Their team needs a pipe. You don't necessarily want to go, well, you don't necessarily want to go for a full pipe, but you need at least the hood. You need to ensure that survivability. Look, Pudge comes out, sort of is around Now, he has been getting kills for his team, I will say. So it's not like he's been useless. Just feels like if he was on a clockwork, he could get more. And look at these jukes from Sev. Wow, dodges 2 nets. That's definitely worth a tip right there. Wind up top, gets staggered, but isn't going to go down or anything. Sev rapidly approaching that Yasha. He tells his team, no. Oh, a smoke comes out. The Quap blinks away. Instantly eats the smoke. Oh, did she TP? I'm unsure what happened to her. And now, upon Zeus is gonna die, pops the ultimate. A big lightning bolt comes out. Bob Ross tries to pop the smoke. Is still alive. Slowly being chased. Sev has another blink, but just goes for the right click instead. Meepo on the backline gets into the Wind. Wind going to take a significant amount of damage. And actually, they're turning on to Sev. Sev's forced to blink out. They don't have an interrupt for the Dismembered. And now, it's all up to Zeus to get the kill. Sev blinks in, does get it. A full E-Blade is out for the Meepo. Meepo, very powerful. 4 for 3 fight. A lot of money to the Meepo, though. Importantly, though, Sev survives. He has his full Yasha. But Radiant looking much, much better this game. Fight recaps here. We can see Meepo gets 900 gold. Sev only gets about 600. Zeus feels like he might have a bit of a tough time. Nimbus is probably going to help, but there is some good mobility on the side of Radiant, especially that Quap. And also, you know, Meepo, he can kind of split the lightning bolt damage as he walks out of it. So he's not going to take a ton from it. Still, obviously, the only item, as actually it looks like he might be in trouble. There's an E-Blade on the Meepo. He misses, but he's caught by Sev. Sev pops his E, is going to get E-Bladed. 1 second, gets the blink away. Another net could come out, but it's a little bit risky going uphill into no vision. They will choose to do so, though. And Yuumi could be in trouble here, actually, as he gets snowballed. Dire decides to back away, not wanting to take a fight, and actually it's going to be Wind that's in trouble. They are going to punch up that Meepo, and they're already taking out the Tombstone. Disarm comes out from that E-Blade onto the Wind. She's going to get stunned up. She's going to get beaten down by the Meepos. A hook comes out, not going to connect onto anything. And right now, Dire doesn't have a good solution to the Meepo. They have to get on top of him and burn one of them quickly, but that's easier said than done. As now Radiant sets up for possibly a tier 2. And with this, the Meepo is rapidly going to have... He has a Scotty, rapidly going to have a Blink Dagger. Meepo is in the area. Dire doesn't know he's there, but if they find him, it's honestly a pretty good opportunity. And they did just see him, I believe. They've spotted him. If Dire can show up, they should know that it's a pretty good opportunity as Sev, oh no, not like this, is going to get root comboed. The team wasn't there to assist him. That's very unfortunate. As Radiant, tell you what, they're starting to take control. Starting to get involved, starting to get some position. Oh, Hawk knows no fear, gets that last hit. My life for 47 gold, he says. JD pretty far from that Aghanims. No Force Staffs yet on the side of Dire. You kind of want one to get your heroes away from that net combo. Sev is going. Get that Manta pretty soon here. So once he has that, that will be a kind of solution to a net. Oh, and they find an illusion. I didn't even have time to see whose it was. As Radiant gets an Aegis on that Meepo, and suddenly that fast pickoff isn't even an option because he's got life number 2. Dire has to be very careful. Sev may need to save for buyback over that Manta, but I feel like on the flip side, if you don't have that Manta, you're not doing anything in fights anyways. And you just have to commit for it. Pudge chooses to go for the blink before the travels. I think that's a good idea. You know, you kind of need that, Oh no, Sev. Not like this. Does dodge out the net. Does dodge out the Meepo. A little dicey. But yeah, I think you do need that Blink Dagger on the Pudge, given that he is your only form of lockdown. You know, you're gonna run into issues if you don't have it. And Radiant is collapsing, trying to find Sev here. Sev does have a Blink. Looks like he's going to get out. He's going to keep farming. Buys out a teleport. So not yet committing for that Manta. And poor Tusk just gets seen, gets removed. The Courier now going to the secret shop. Very risky. Flies past the Pudge. They know it's there. He gets it. Oh, not like this. Oh, Sev. He tries to get it, but he doesn't. Now he's going to do what he needs to do here. He's going to cut the wave, it looks like. But he is spotted. And Radiant is pushing. They're taking a base. A Force Staff does come out onto the Zeus to try and save himself, but I don't think it's going to be enough as he just goes down. Pudge taking a lot of damage. Meepo still full HP. They are going to lose the Pudge, but that's a dieback already onto the Undying. Now, Meepo maybe a little bit too deep. There's not anything on Hawks. He just bought back, and he just walks up and offers himself. Please, he says, take me. Anti-Mage, cutting creep waves, doing what he has to do, but there is a creep wave top, so his cutting is going to be largely ineffective. As Wind is trying to get some damage in, Sev TP's into the wrong spot and just instantly dies. There's no buyback because he tried to buy out the Manta, but he doesn't have it. Zeus also gonna die, and now Wind has a buyback. But honestly, that's probably just game. And yeah, look, Meepo knows no fear, gets the kill. That's a wipe. They're gonna get at least 2 lanes of racks. Pudge pings the fountain. Wants it. Upon Zeus. Tries to put himself in a position to do anything. The hook whiffs. But so did the shards, and now Tusk has put himself in a dangerous situation. Courier's still not up for a minute. Still no Manta for a minute. Are they going to try and defend the second Rax, or are they waiting for Rax number 3? Upon Zeus puts down an early tombstone, but it's getting hammered already. Will get healed up. Enchantress taking a lot and a lot of damage, but I think those are going to get cleaned up. 2 lanes down. And Sev is going to get that Manta in just a moment as his Courier respawns. But Radiant, they're not done yet. They've decided they're going for Megas, and I don't think any amount of Manta is going to save you as Meepo goes in onto the Zeus. Zeus manages to get a Force Staff out, is going to be safe for now. The big ultimate from the Venomancer, followed up by Dismember onto the Wind. She's going to die, so is the Tusk, so is the Undying. It's just Zeus. He popped the ultimate. Sev has the Manta right now. This is his chance. What will he do with it? Maybe he can kill the Meepo. It's his only hope. He manages to dodge the first net. Gets hit by the second. He's not going to be saved. He's going to drop instantly, and that's the game. And just a powerful death ball from Radiant. They group up. They take the towers. They take good fights. Meepo farms. Anti-Mage never got to the point where he could fight the Meepo. They take their timing and they just pushed into the victory. 26 minutes. And that's kind of what they felt like they needed to do the first game. And they showed up in the second. a powerful series. Both teams showing that they have the gamer credentials. And yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about that second game. It really does just feel like, the despite the good lanes of Dire, Radiant just kind of the Meepo farmed, and then Radiant was able to push and Deathball, and Dire's cores never got to a point where they could fight. That is the one disadvantage to Dire's lineup here, is you look, Anti-Mage can't fight until he's got at least a Manta. Wind desperately needs that MKB to fight. Zeus really relies on that Aghanims. He can still fight before then, but not when you don't have anyone to fight in front of you. The Tusk can't really initiate, he just gets obliterated. The Undying's Tombstones won't do much because of the Meepo just hitting it and just instantly killing it. So it feels rough if you're Dire. Before that timing, you feel really weak. Now after that, you're probably going to start out scaling pretty hard. But they just never reached that timing because Radiant abused their early power level to just obliterate the map. The Meepo I wasn't sure about, but he farmed, he got his items, and he became a raid boss. And there was nothing. He was a raid boss into no DPS, as the damage just wasn't available for the side of Dire. They hadn't hit that. They hadn't farmed enough. That was a strong performance. A lot of times you get hit with a bad game 1, and it's really hard to come back into game 2. But not Stronk Synergy. They show up in game 2. Alright, lads. I hope you all enjoyed. Sorry I have not been uploading these to YouTube if you care. I'm probably going to start uploading the 2 games as one VOD. But I'll do that soonish, I promise. For now, next cast on Thursday. Doing some more lads. Some more League lads. For now, I'll see you all around. Peace.